to the people around him. Paul and I recently had a conversation about how difficult this year has been on so many people, and we were thankful to have each other's support during such a difficult time in the world. Let us cherish the moments we have together and never take them for granted. On July 27th, 2014, Paul and Kona, his sidekick, invited Aspen, Molly, our dog, and I into the journey of his life. He took us with him and gave us the honor of experiencing the adventures of life and everything that he was. It was beautiful and happy, peaceful and loving, fun and exciting, and sometimes it was painful and tragic. Life with Paul was every experience and feeling life can offer, and it was such a privilege to have that experience with him. Paul was dedicated, thoughtful, inquisitive, and loving in everything he did. Whatever he chose to do in life, and whomever he chose to do it with, he chose to always give it his best. I have yet to know someone so committed and dedicated to their callings. Paul was a conscientious, that word gets me every time, and caring gastroenterologist. He cared very much about people, all people, and not just the people that pleased him. He was adamant about always doing the best for his patients. He served as chief of staff at St. Mary's and was dedicated to that role even after his appointed time had passed. He enjoyed mentoring others when coming upon that role. I used to ask him why he would still go to meetings instead of just relaxing at home. Why show up when you don't have the obligation? Paul was truly a dedicated soul. I used to frequently tell him he was a better man than I, a better person than I. No secrets here, guys. Paul loved animals. He aspired to have a rescue farm and loved visiting farms and connecting with animals. He experienced swimming with tiger sharks and spoke of how docile these massive oceanic creatures were. His diet was pescatarian, not only for health and environmental reasons, sorry to offend anybody, but he also didn't want to contribute to the slaughter of the animals he loved so much. No judgment, just in case you're slaughtering.
Oh my goodness.
Once in Ireland, he had found a farm he wanted us to visit. I remember speeding down the narrow 2-lane road, asking him to slow down, but he was determined to get to the farm before it closed. We were the only patrons there on that cold, drizzling day, and they were 30 minutes from closing. We walked around looking at the animals. I got my fill and went to warm up in the car and wait for him. 20 minutes had passed and I noticed the workers closing the farm. I went out to look for him, but he had disappeared. I went back to the car to call him, and he came walking out with happiness about him and explained he had convinced the farmer to allow him to feed the baby sheep by bottle. He loved his sidekick Kona, who was by Paul's side for just over 15 years. He loved Kona so much that as he became old and weak, Paul would decline travel to stay with him, carry him around when his legs were weak, and clean up what he called his poopages. He did this till the day Kona died in our living room with all of us surrounding him. He loved my dog, our dog, Molly, who he nicknamed Dunka. I have no idea what that's from, but he did that. Every Thursday night, Aspen and I would have a sleepover, and Molly and Paul would have a sleepover. Friday mornings, I would find Molly lying on my side of the bed, spooning with Paul. He was an amazing dog dad. Paul loved adventure. He was brave, eager, and lived for challenge, excitement, and fun. He enjoyed and was skilled at backcountry skiing, mountaineering, climbing, kiteboarding, bike riding, rafting, running, snorkeling, paddleboarding, traveling, riding through the Black Rock Desert in costumes out of Burning Man, and dancing through the night. He was playful and enjoyed laughter and new experiences. He had recently come home after his last rafting trip in Idaho telling me the new toy he wanted, an aluminum jet boat that could speed and break through river rapids. He thought they were just so awesome. He was always looking for the next adventurous experience. There was nothing he couldn't pick up as far as skill. He was agile, strong, and had amazing endurance. I just wish that could have made him invincible. Paul loved fast cars and would often stay up after I had gone to bed and watch car porn, AKA Shmee on the YouTube channel, who reviews and drives around sports cars. If I came to watch, he would comment on how much money these guys make just reviewing someone else's sports cars. It was his dream job after retirement. I was lucky to have just taken a joyride to Tahoe for the day after begging him to take out the date car. He didn't like me calling his Porsche that, but it rarely came out of the garage. Paul was able to put his love for serving others, being a physician, and love for adventure together by being a member of the Washoe County Search and Rescue Hasty Team. He took so much pride and felt so much purpose in rescuing others. He saved everyone he had the power to in one way or another. After moving in with him, there was a fire behind the house. He came home from work, changed into his hasty gear, and was ready to save the day. Anywhere we were, if he got a call, he would do his best to be there. I could see the pride when he would leave out the door to fulfill his duty. It meant so much to him to be part of the team. Though Paul was adventurous, he also had a quiet, gentle, loving spirit that was kind, inquisitive, and thoughtful. He enjoyed reading about everything. He enjoyed beautiful classical music and opera. It would bring tears to his eyes 100% of the time that he listened to it. He enjoyed cheesy love songs from the 70s and 80s. He enjoyed sitting out on our deck and calling me outside to share the sunset in all its silent beauty and sitting quietly together till the stars filled the sky. I frequently sit out on the deck in the mornings feeding the birds, and recently caught Paul out there feeding the jays before me with peanuts, taking over my hobby. He enjoyed having nice meals and cooking, fine wines, and his occasional shot of good old tequila. He made the best Thai heat margaritas. I hope he knows that out of all of the world's beauty that we experienced together, that he was the center and most significant of it all. Paul was a light worker. His middle name, Aiden, in Farsi means light. He was our light. He was a bonus dad to Aspen and faithful and loving companion to me, a God-sent addition to our family. Not only did he take me, but he took all three of us girls, one furry. We took him in Kona, and it was just right. Paul guided us. He grew with us. He was our compass. Paul was the compass for most of his family, or all of his family, in fact. Truly a leader and guide for us all. I would often ask him for parental advice, and he always had it. He was encouraging, a positive influence, a mentor, and a voice of reason through tough times. Besides just loving him, I admired him and I looked up to him. I aspired to be more like him with his patience, kindness, and understanding of humanity. He was extremely non-judgmental. I always told him he was the sweet one. Paul was and always will be the light of our lives.